Hello, and welcome to Dice Friends. This is Suburban Succession, a Fiasco classic game using the Home Invasion playset by Jason Morningstar. Fiasco is a GM-less role-playing game published by Bully Pulpit Games. We're going to be doing a series of 16 scenes divided into 2 acts. There will be a break in the middle, and then there will be some denouement at the end. Each scene will be focusing on one of the 4 characters, and you will see how that goes as we play through. I'm Dale Friesen. I'm going to be playing Randall in this. Art for this game was created by the artist known as Featherweight, and tech for this stream is being handled by Paul Saunders. It is my honor and privilege to be gaming with 3 fantastic performers today, and we're just going to go in a circle and introduce ourselves. Andy, who are you?
I am Andy, and I am playing Rhonda. That's fantastic, depiction there. Yeah.
I'm Kathleen, and I'm playing Julie Bucket, and I'm a midwestern beatnik who makes pottery.
It's your boy Ian, and I will be playing Brad Bucket, who is really into jazz.
Nice. So we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to have the first scene. Now, when it's my scene, the first thing that I do is I decide whether I am setting the scene or whether I am going to let everyone else set the scene, and then I will decide whether it goes well or it goes poorly for me. If I set the scene, then everyone else will decide among themselves whether it is going well or whether it is going poorly for me. I'm going to set this first scene. So I am with my lovely wife in our lovely little bungalow home next to the monstrosity next door, and I am hoping that I'm going to be able to figure something out. So, say, Pumpkin, I've noticed that next door, their Wi-Fi router is wide open. So, I'm thinking this is my big chance to take that horrible Brad Bucket down a peg. So, I am hoping that it's just a bunch of 1s and 0s. What do you think? Is there any mischief we can do with this?
Oh, cover me in grit and call me Samson. Absolutely, honey. We're gonna have some fun with those 1s and 0s. My goodness, what primitive technology they have in this suburb. I think we can use that for fantastic means and various uses. Did you have anything in mind, honey?
Well, I had a couple of things in mind, and I just wanted to get your opinion. So first of all, I thought I could get the local constabulary to come and do some mischief at them. Second, I noticed that they're lining up for some sort of large social event sometime very soon. Perhaps that's something to do with the neighborhood association. Perhaps I could make it so that it's sending out false messages, or maybe I could just set it on fire remotely. What do you think would be the most exciting?
My goodness, you have such a productive imagination for them, to the benefit of the collective.
Oh, thank you, Sugar Plum.
Well, let's see. I am a huge fan of remote pyrotechnics. However, before we maybe start to put that little plan into motion, I think perhaps using it to further our purpose here in this lovely place. I think definitely using it for monitoring, calling the police at just the right time. Goodness, fills me with such bile, the good kind, in my glands. I
do love good violin glands.
Isn't it good? I'll make a pie later. That's just, I can just excrete it and fill it for you. It'll be so delicious, just like home. But what shall we do first? What is the what will how will we do best to oh goodness, put a bee in their bonnet, so to speak? Oh my goodness.
Well, we need to make sure that we don't do anything that will disturb the rest of the leader. So maybe what we need to do, and I'm sort of looking here to know whether to end this scene well or poorly. So just a reminder, the rest of you have to figure that out. I can't end the scene until you tell me whether it goes well for me or badly for me. So maybe we just use it for now to find out everything that's going on in there. So I'll just hook this up to some of the monitoring devices. I've rigged an adapter, and I believe that if I can just get all this going, then we can see what's happening inside their domicile.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh my goodness. And let me tell you, I have my suspicions about a certain someone. I think you know who. And I would love to get the dirt on her, let me tell you.
So I think that's probably scene. Now in Act 1, I get assigned a red die for a good ending and a black die for a poor ending, and Act 1, I give that die away. So since you've given me a red die, I really feel like Rhonda is the logical person to be receiving that.
Okay, thank you.
So, Andy, it is now your turn to decide whether you're setting a scene or you're resolving the scene.
Good question. Well, let's see here. We've got this lovely router business that we've gone into on reconnaissance. I think what shall we do to lead from there? I think I shall go to. I think I will set the scene. I will have made one of my glandular pies that and then that I will put in sort of my second best chafing dish, and I will go over of a of say a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, let's say, and I'm going to be knocking on our next door neighbor's door there. I think that'll set the scene there. So I do that. I put, I get on my vinyl blue dress that is free of any sort of wrinkling or seam, and I trot over there and I knock on the door, knock 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 knock, and I also say knock as I knock, knock 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 knock.
Oh, hello! Oh my gosh, Rhonda, how are
Julie.
you? Oh,
I'm swell. Thank you so much. I just wanted to pop over because I know that this is one of your open house days, as every day seems to be an open house day. So many people coming in at all hours, all the time, and I just thought I'd come over at a reasonable hour and give you this dish. I've heard you've been going through some interesting times.
Oh, it is just so tragic with Brad's grandfather passing away. But please don't feel like a stranger. We're actually gonna have a yurt drumming demonstration over in the backyard later tonight. And since you were so generous, you can have some hot dish when you come over. It'd be great. Just
Thank
join
you
in.
so much. Now tell me, how hard do you hit the yurts when you drum on them?
Oh, no, we sit in a yurt while we drive. You know what? It's hard to explain. It's very spiritual. People from the steppes of Mongolia have done this for thousands of years because they have yurts on, houses, because they got to move around a lot, so they got to move their drum circles. But anyhow, it's real great. I think you'd really, really welcome the chance just to relax and just to chill out and let yourself go.
Oh, I'd be so happy to do that. And while we're talking, Rhonda's just going to sort of slip by Julie in the door, and is going to. I have to say, what fantastic decor that you have done with it in such a short period of time. And sort of placing where Randall maybe has put some things to pick up routers and some small microphones we have installed secretly about the home, just making sure they're all functional. This is wonderful. Tell me about this credenza. First of all, what is a credenza?
Oh, Well, this credenza, it's an antique. We inherited it from Brad's grandfather. It's so tragic that he died. Oh, but I'm glad you like my macrame. It was great.
I do. And you've made it in shapes of macaroni. You've made macaroni macrame.
Oh,
I could eat that off the wall.
yes. These crescent moons are to represent the women's ovulation cycle. It's all.
Beautiful.
It's like it's a whole piece that I call menstrual flow because it's several macrame pieces that goes across the wall.
Fantastic. And Rhonda takes a special note of this to see how often she should be ovulating and to make sure she's getting it right. Marv, well, excellent. Goodness, you're so deep, Julie. I've always been such a big fan. My goodness.
Oh,
Well, I won't take up much more of your time. Is Brad around? What's he up to these days?
oh, he's in his jazz basement as usual.
Oh, we know. Goodness. That jazz basement. Good. Oh my. What sort of what the acoustics are so good down there. There's just no sound
Oh. Well, because it's in the basement, the bass does tend to travel through the loamy earth we have around here. But it means that you get to experience so many of Herbie Hancock's greatest classics. Should have looked up more jazz albums.
Right. That's right. Gosh, I love Herbie Hancock. And that one song over and over and over. The more I listen to it, the more I appreciate having ears, I tell you what. Well, I feel... I think I've maybe accomplished much of what we're going to be out of character for a moment. Does this sound good? Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I say goodbye to the macrame, and I touch it very slightly. Gosh, Julie, it's so nice to see you here, and I hope to see you at the homeowners association meeting that's coming up. As she's going out the door, sort of dropping that bomb.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I have some thoughts about the garbage policy. Okay, bye. Click.
Okay, bye.
So Rhonda gets a red die that she gives away.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to give that to Julie Bucket for being such a good host.
Oh, thank you. I think that I'm going to set the scene down in Brad's jazz basement. Where Brad is deep in mourning, I feel, listening to some of his... you know what? Brad, you tell us how you feel. We're in Brad's jazz basement. Take it from here, Ian.
Oh, it just... I just can't stay happy as much as I want to. The blues are just... They're flowing through me, and I'm trying to push out the sadness with... Look, I'm here in the basement with the loamy earth and a brand new Roots record, and I just can't do it. Maybe I gotta take a break. Maybe I gotta just, Okay. Calm down, Brad. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's go upstairs and maybe get ourselves a drink.
Brad, you're out of the jazz basement so soon.
Oh, Julie, yeah, no, I'm just up here to grab a drink to take a bit of the edge off. Morning's tough, It's, you never expect to lose someone, and you don't know what to do when it happens. And he's just out there in the garage with the door open because we can't close it because otherwise it'll get too stinky. But if you leave it open too often, you'll freeze.
Your grandpappy, your grandpa, your granddad, whose name is...
Jebediah.
I thought you were going to say Jebediah. Oh, my God. Jebediah Bucket. What a great
Jebediah
man.
Crockett, if you remember. Because we did combine our two last names as a hyphenation.
Oh, right. Yes. Jebediah, what a great man. But why did he have to say that in his will he had to have a 2-week viewing? Why do all these people need to come and see him and make sure he's died? It's very intense.
I mean, the man grew up in a different era back before the Wi-Fi was everywhere, and back when we had to, like, they had to put Wi-Fi on paper and send it across the town by horse, and then put it on an electric line. Terrible technology they had back in the day, and that's why we're staying up to date with our lives. That's why we've got the Wi-Fi all through the house. We got clean Wi-Fi. Eero is a fantastic company, I tell you what. But we've got the Wi-Fi, and that's why we're here. That's why we decided to settle in town, and that's why we're on the council. Because, I mean, look at this place. It's beautiful, except for the smell. The smell right now, of course, from our grandfather. But that's fine. The smell in the summer is the real problem, because the garbage just sits there for weeks. We gotta make a change.
No, I don't understand how people can stand living next to so many dumpsters. Like, does it seem like there's a lot of dumpsters for like how many houses are in this subdivision? It's weird.
I don't know why every house needs 3 dumpsters when we don't even separate our garbage.
No.
Like,
No, we need a comprehensive garbage and recycling policy. Like, this is ridiculous. We have to be kinder to the earth.
Is one just a honeypot for the local wildlife? I don't know.
Well, I have seen a lot more raccoons since we moved in here. It's true. But, like, and that's a bonus. That's a benefit because, our furry finger friends are fun to look at. But, like, and those buckets next door. Oh, God. They make me wish I was still touring.
Let me tell you, when we managed to move this city the city, I mean, yeah, let's be ambitious. When we changed this city over from metal dumpsters to those plastic wheelie bins, gonna go down in terms of cost of collection, gonna go down in terms of theft from all these steel dumpsters, and most importantly, the kids aren't gonna be able to light any more of these dumpsters on fire. It's not safe.
No.
It's not safe for the kids.
No. Well.
Look, I'm just gonna head back on downstairs and listen to Cantaloupe Island on repeat for 5 minutes. It's only one time, but I'll do it again. And I'm just gonna see if I can get through this funk, and maybe I'll help you write a few more subsections of the policy.
Oh, thank you, hun. I'll bring you some hot dish later.
Oh, that's the best dish, even when it's cold.
So, in spite of the votes, I feel like that scene went well for Julie.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So you give the die away, Julie.
Well, I'm gonna give it to Brad. Keep it going around.
So, Ian, are you setting a scene or are you resolving the scene?
Oh, well, everyone's set a scene so far, so you know what? I'm gonna resolve a scene.
Okay. So that means the 3 of us decide on a scene, any scene, and then Ian has to play it. So, Andy,
is there something we could do with dumpsters and maybe inspecting dumpsters maybe late at night, or possibly, or what else could we do? Something with jazz, something with.
Well, we've established that Brad and Julie are co-authoring the new garbage policy. So, what if it's late at night and someone who's mad about the new policy has done something to the bucket dumpster, and Brad has to go out and check it out?
Ooh,
Is
I
that,
like that.
kind of like what you have in mind, Andy?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Okay. All right. Ian, you get to decide how this scene ends, so there will be no thumbs from us.
Okay.
And if you introduce a character to the scene, one of us has to jump in and play it.
Okay. Do I decide? I don't decide right now, though, do I?
You do not. And there can be, you might start out by seeing a raccoon and, Kathleen's playing the raccoon, and then that's the distraction because someone else comes running in, or... That's your scene, Ian.
I got it from here. Perfect.
Action.
Julie, are you awake?
No.
Okay. I think I heard a sound out back by the dumpsters. I'm gonna go check it out. You dial 9 and then 1, and then wait to hear from me. And if I say, "Oh my God," then you're back.
Yeah, I got it, fine. Okay.
Take this over. Okay, let's put on my socks, put on my slippers, and let's just head on down the stairs. Grab the bats for the fence. Let's It's cold out here. Why didn't Grandfather move to the Midwest? Couldn't he go somewhere, retire in Florida? Better jazz out there. What the H-E double hockey stick is going on with my dumpster? Why? Why is it vibrating like that? Okay, let me just check the local field guide for wildlife here. Okay, this is definitely raccoon country. It's it's black bear country, so I think I can take one of those. They seem small and
The dumpster lurches 2 feet to the left and starts vibrating at a higher level.
Give it a quick bang. Oi! Oi!
It stops completely and then starts to levitate a half inch off the ground.
Holy moly, this is gonna change everything. God, who? Police? Oh, they don't deal with floating dumpsters. Ghostbusters? They don't exist. Joey! Joey, look out the window! You're never gonna believe this!
The dumpster settles immediately.
What? Brad,
You're
why?
never gonna believe this. Joey! The dumpster can fly! Do you think that's gonna impact our policy? Or are we just gonna have to get a new one?
I'm going to bed. Pulls down
Okay.
eye mask.
Okay,
Randall opens the window. Shut up!
Okay! Jesus. People. All right, well, I guess the best we can do is maybe keep it trapped so that none of the kids grab it. I'll just move this thing in to the garage.
Oh no.
Yeah. Now it ain't going nowhere. Back to sleep.
So did that go well for you, Ian, or did that go
I think
badly?
that went terribly for me.
Okay. So you get to give away a black die.
Ooh. Well, apparently you don't have... You know what? I'm gonna give that to Julie.
Perfect.
You didn't see what happened.
And I wasn't helpful.
That may come back to bite us.
Okay. So it's back to me. It's the next morning, and I am very much a morning person, so I'm up at the crack of, well, before dawn, because it's still pretty late when it gets light. And is Rhonda at home with me here, or do I not see Rhonda?
I think Rhonda is here. I think Rhonda is standing perfectly still in a closet.
Right. So, I am going to wander next door to the garage. First of all, I need to check out the corpse in there. And second of all, I just need to know what else is going on after last night. So, let's say it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark out. I am using these stupid inferior human eyeballs to see, so I can't see very well. And I'm doing that because I'm human. And so I'm heading over to the garage. All right, so I'm assuming there's like a big door in front. Now, Ian, after Brad pushed the dumpster in there, did he close that door?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, now I'm guessing there's going to be like a side door that I can just open and go in. I try it. Is it locked?
Yes, but it's one of those garage doors that's got the, this 3x3 pane of windows and then the doorknob, so should you want to get in, you're going to have no problem.
All right. Well, I want to get in.
Smashy.
I want to get in quietly. So I'm going to try to do some quick magnetic bursts into the locking mechanism. Is that going to work for me, or is that going to screw me over?
It is absolutely going to work for you, but not in the way that you think it is.
Oh, so what happens?
As you throw some magnetic bolts at the lock, the one rock that's down next to the pathway that's conspicuously somehow not covered in snow and ice, kind of starts flying up to your hand.
Oh. Is there a hidden key in it?
It's not very hidden.
Okay. All right. So, I unlock the door and head into the garage. So, is there a car in there, or is there just a dumpster and a corpse?
Just a dumpster and a corpse, and some very large speakers.
Okay. And the dumpster is all tied up, right? You wrapped it up or something?
Oh, no, I just wheeled it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It stopped making noise, so I'm just going to keep it here in case it leaves.
All right. So I'm going to lift the lid and peer inside. Andy, is there anything I should know about what I'm seeing in there?
Absolutely, it is the brood.
I see. Well, I am delighted to see the brood, and I make sure I leave the lid up, and I'm going over and doing my actual objective now. I'm checking out the corpse of Brad's grandfather, and I want to see if there's any sign of life of our leader who was inhabiting that body. This is where you guys need to make a decision.
Yeah.
All right. So, this is going badly for me. Now, I am hoping that, because we've established that Andy and I want to be free of the leader, does going badly for me mean that the leader is twitching as he's wrapped around Grandpa's brainstem? Or does going badly, because remember, Andy and I are trying to get free of sort of the group that we're in.
I don't know. I leave it to you two. I feel like maybe he's on the verge of death.
Okay, and I was hoping that he was already dead.
Yeah, let's say he's human dead.
He's human dead. Oh. And I think that if I were more courageous, I would finish him off. But this goes badly for me. So I think maybe I start to, and that makes a mess of the body, and I can't bring myself to finish it, and I run home. And I think that's scene.
Okay. Got a bad end to assign.
Wow.
Goodness.
All right. Brad, have a black die.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. Does it come back around to me?
It does.
Okay. Well, I think that Rhonda again is standing in her closet, like seconds while you are in the garage. Rhonda's standing smiling in a perfectly black closet. And then some internal clock goes ding inside of her head, and she goes, and opens the door and steps out and goes about the things she usually does, which is arranging the furniture in such a way as to funnel the gamma radiation from the stars into a small plastic bucket that she will later use to cleanse her ganglia. And then she looks, yeah. Then she looks outside to check on the kids. She lifts the window and looks out and notices only 2 dumpsters in the alley outside of the house. And she goes, "Huh, Randall, and starts
I come running in.
yes,
Darling,
hello.
hello. A good morning to you.
A good morning to you as well. Randall, I have a question.
Oh, what is it, Sugar Plum?
Where is the brood?
Oh, the brood is in the dumpster in the jazz garage next to the corpse containing the still twitching body of the leader.
Oh, dear. Oh, Randall, this is bad for several reasons.
Oh, is it, Sugar Plum? That's
Yes.
terrible.
Yes, perhaps we were not on the same page, but I feel that the leader still being alive and twitching does not work out for our plans of usurping the colonization of this planet.
I concur.
Well, goodness, dear, do you think the brood will be all right? In the jazz garage, all the Herbie Hancock coming up from the basement. How will it affect their larval stage?
Well, perhaps it will help them indoctrination-wise. They
Oh, I
are
see.
going to have to be acclimatized to this new world.
This is true. They will be living in a world with Herbie Hancock. It's good to, let them learn about it at a young age. We wouldn't want that to come as a surprise later on, certainly. Well, I can see that. Goodness gracious me. Well, what shall we do, Randall?
We could go back to the earlier fire plan. We could push the brood dumpster out of the garage and blow everything up.
We could do. I fear that if doing that, we would blow our cover somewhat. The authorities would arrive and want to know about the plastic bucket for my cleansing ganglia.
Oh dear.
Yes. I worry, Randall. I worry sometimes. You know me. I'm a worrier.
Yes, dear.
Oh,
So I'm guessing this is going badly for Andy.
I'm guessing this isn't so good. Oh, Randall, and the homeowners association meeting is tonight. Goodness, I don't know how I'd be able to compose myself worrying about our near-dead leader and our brood that is being suffused with jazz.
Yes, things are dreadful.
Ah. Seems like a good way to end that.
Give away your die.
Oh gosh. Who is that bad for? Can I give it to myself? That's all bad for Ron.
Yeah?
You can, in Act 1, you give the dice away. In Act 2, you keep the dice.
Oh, I see. Well then, Randall gave me the bad news, and so I'm gonna give it to Randall.
Seems fair.
All right. Whose turn is it? Is it my turn?
Yours.
Julie.
Okay, just checking before I started talking. Getting so caught up in this.
It's a rich narrative.
It is. I'd like to do a flashback before we get to the homeowners association meeting.
Cool.
I want to
Cool.
do a flashback to Julie and Rhonda talking, over muffins, or at least muffins that Julie made and she brought over because she just moved into the neighborhood and was appalled at the garbage policy and was trying to get her next door neighbor on board to get it dealt with. And trying to convince her about all these things that her next door neighbor should vote for her to become the new president of the homeowners association.
So Jebediah is still alive.
Jebediah is still alive, but very, very old. All
My
right.
goodness, these muffins. Oh, I tell you what. What do you put in them?
Oh, all sorts of things. Bran, carrots, psyllium, husks, algae, kale, aloe, kelp,
Gosh,
and pineapple for flavor.
That's what I was missing. I had the husks, I had the algae, the pineapple. Goodness gracious. What will they think of next? What will you think of next, Julie? I'm always happy to come over. I always look forward to our little chats.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm actually, now that you mentioned thinking, I've been thinking about the dumpsters out in the back. God, don't they bother you? Aren't they? They smell, don't they? Ugh.
There is an odor. I personally find it pleasant. You see, I grew up in New Jersey. It reminds me of home.
I see. I mean, far be it from me to disparage your childhood, but I was thinking that maybe that we could use some change around here on the homeowners association. It just seems like some real basic maintenance hasn't been done.
Oh, you feel so?
Oh, absolutely. I think like, there's some, our fences should be painted, and there's just the grounds work here is just not being kept up on. And what are we paying all these fees for? They're charging my dear grandfather. He's 98 years old. I mean, he's my husband's grandfather. So I guess he's my grandfather-in-law, but they're charging him like $600 a month, and for what?
Well, I know. But goodness gracious, look at these. They still have trees. Why? What need for trees? I mean, seriously.
Oh, the trees are okay. The trees are, I think they're nice. Lots of little finger friends live in there and get into the dumpsters at night.
Oh, I see. Oh, of course. No, yes, no. We should keep the trees. I fear, Julie, as much as I respect you and your amazing systems of craft and baking. I feel that we cannot agree on this issue with the garbage system. I think what we have now is perfectly adequate. And if you bring this up at the homeowners association, I'm afraid I'm going to have to fight you on this, Julie.
Oh my!
I'm gonna have to put my foot down.
Dang!
Scene?
Perfect.
Well, that's a black die for Julie.
Definitely. I'm gonna give this to Rhonda. I'm gonna spread those black dyes around.
Yeah.
All right.
I come into your own home, I eat your muffins, and I go against your garbage plan. I feel bad, but I
feel just like a dang is like the most midwestern way you can react to something like that.
So we have now the final scene of Act 1.
Oh, yes we do. Try to think where we should go with this. You know what? Let's do some character establishment as well here. While you guys had your flashback, Randall and I'd like to have a flashback together with you. To just we're gonna say if tomorrow is the homeowners association and the will reading, then that means this is going to be 15 days ago or 14 days ago.
Okay. So, please remind me what that means. So your grandpa is alive.
Nope, grandfather has just died.
Oh, just died.
And we have come to I'm coming now across the laneway to let you know that we're moving in and we're going to be your new neighbors.
I see. So this is our first meeting.
Maybe our second, but it's going to be our first major meeting. It's not
Do we hate each other yet?
I don't think we do. And that's
Oh! Let's do a scene!
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, hello there, human person. I also am a human person.
Well, hey there. That's an interesting way of describing yourself. I'm a human being too, but there's more to me than just that. Put her there, pal. My name's Brad Bucket.
Oh, so you also are a human person plus more than that? How very interesting.
Yeah, a lot to me. I mean, I'm big into jazz, but I could talk your ear off about that, I'm sure. Well, yeah, we figured I'd let you know what's what around here, because we're gonna be your new neighbors. Unfortunately, well, more than unfortunately, my grandpappy, old Jebediah Bukowski here, he kicked the bucket and whoops. Still getting used to that turn of phrase, but he didn't kick me, but he's gone now, and that means
The leader is dead?
well, yeah, he was the leader of the homeowners association, and I understand he's got something in his will that he's going to be talking about who gets to, or how they're going to worry about the succession there. But yeah, he's gone, unfortunately, and we're taking care of things here, and we're moved in until we got everything settled.
So
we settled ourselves.
You are taking care of the leader's succession?
Well, that remains to be seen, but I guess you could say we're executing it. So we're like I guess you could say executors, only not so violent.
Ah, so the execution remains to be seen.
But yeah, we need to find out what he's got written down in his will, and then we can execute on it.
I am experiencing mediocre comprehension.
Yeah, this does sound like it might be a bit beyond. Let me go see at some point. Yeah, how do you feel about hot plates?
I feel that they are exceedingly warm. If the warmth were not exceeding, we would not call those plates hot. We would call them warm.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, tell you what, I'm gonna invite you and you're married, right?
I am, yes, my lovely sugar plum wife Rhonda.
Fantastic. I'm gonna invite you and your lovely sugar plum laugh over to our place. We can play some canasta. We can play some Herbie. Yeah, I bet you like Herbie.
I find Herbie delicious.
He's a treat for the ears, I tell you what. And you know what? We're gonna give you just, we're gonna dial a bit back our hospitality, dial back the flavor just a bit, and we're gonna give you a nice warm dish. How's that sound?
Experiential.
Fantastic. Okay. One more thing before we wrap up here is that we do have to kind of sit in sort of a it's Jebediah's wishes were that we sit in mourning for 2 weeks, so there's going to be some people coming and going. I'm really sorry about that, but there may be a bit more ruckus than you might be used to for a bit. But I guarantee it'll be done in 2 weeks.
For the execution and determining the succession of the leader.
Yeah, yes. In 2 weeks we will be done executing, and all the death will be out the door, and it'll just be new life for you and me, friend.
Thank you, neighbor. I am anticipating warmth.
Fantastic. That's why I'm such a big vinyl fan. It's the warmth of the sound in the ears. You come on by. We'll get you set up with a real good jazz education.
Expressions of gratitude.
Expressions. Bye now.
Bravo.
So I think did you guys decide that was going well for Brad?
Yep.
Mainly because
All right.
I just wanted the dice to be even.
Well, it felt like it went well for Brad.
Good, because I'm going to give that die to Randall, because I think that went well for you.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we will be in Act 2, and there will be some new elements in play. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back. This is Act 2 of Suburban Succession. While we were on a break, we did something called the tilt. This involves rolling some dice and using the tilt table. We now have 2 elements that we have to use in Act 2. The first one is mayhem. A dangerous animal gets loose. And the second one is failure. You thought it was taken care of, but it wasn't. So any of us can just introduce one of these at any time. We have 8 scenes left. The first scene is Randall's, and I am going to decide how it goes. What is Randall's scene, please?
Could it be something in the lead up to...
Yeah.
The homeowners association meeting, maybe?
Yeah.
Randall is preparing the equipment that they think they're going to need for the homeowners association meeting.
Ah. All right. So, I'm putting my equipment together. I have this massive backpack laid out. Honey, have you seen my Mark III neuralizer?
I thought you were keeping it in the regeneration pod, dear.
Regeneration? What's the neuralizer? Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
This is my neutralizer. I was asking about... Oh, neutralizer is better. Never mind.
Do you need a hand, honey? Can you manage?
I'm fine. I can do this, darling.
All right, this is very important. If we fail tonight, the entire operation goes through the poop chute.
I'm doing it, darling.
All right.
What do you call those things you hit stuff with?
Oh, a deatomizer?
Yeah, do we have one of those, or are they back in the ship?
We have 3 of them. 2 of them in the ship. The blue one is under the bed.
But the blue one's cracked.
That's true. Well, I could check the ship.
No, I'll use the blue one.
All right.
So I think I'm getting my backpack together, and I'm getting very, very few of the things that I actually thought I was going to be getting, but hopefully I have what I need, and it's all in this massive backpack. And I think I'm ready for the homeowners association. I think that went badly for me, but I'm going with it anyway. Please give me a black die.
You get to keep your black dice.
Yes, in Act 2 we keep our dice.
Excellent. Well, then it's my turn then. So it is the night of the homeowners association, which is done in the multi-purpose room of the local recreation center. There is one long table that behind which most of the people at the meeting who are on the board sit, and there are a couple people dispersed in the room. There's also coffee and the algae silica pineapple muffins that Julie has made and brought, and one of my glandular pies that I put out, and coffee and things. And there's a couple people, 2 people in the audience who are asleep. One person is on their phone, and this is largely a conversation between the people on the board of the homeowners association, of which Rhonda is definitely a member, and I'm supposing Julie and Brad as well. Where is Randall in this?
Well, I'm lurking with my backpack because I'm a little bit unclear about how this is all going to shake down and what I'm going to have to do. I also have an out-of-character question for the rest of you. Mm-hmm. If Grandpa's animated body lurches in under the control of the alien leader that's wrapped around his brainstem, does that count as a dangerous animal gets loose? Or does that count as you thought it was taken care of, but it wasn't? Or is that a boring idea that we shouldn't use?
I mean, that was honestly where I was hoping this would go, so I'm very excited.
You can take either of those. Because I'm curious to see which one you go with, because I think it could go either way. And we could go well either way.
All right. Well, I don't know that I'm comfortable putting a zombie in the category of animal.
I mean, I just don't like zombies in general, so yeah, great.
Anyway, this isn't my scene. I just wanted to, suss out with what the group thought.
Excellent. So we're all convened, and who would be the sort of arbitrator?
Actually, I had an idea for that.
Yeah.
That Julie is going to take the position of Jebediah's old position, just to maintain quorum, and I'm just there as a neutral third party.
That's right.
Who gets to read the wheel.
Perfect. Maybe the boys are in the audience while this is like the battle of the minds between Rhonda and Julie.
Absolutely.
Cheer us on.
Okay, so with the land acknowledgement out of the way, we can now get down to the business of this particular special meeting here, which is to decide the new leader of the Homeowners Association in concordance with the wishes of the previous homeowner is someone at the door?
I'll go take a look.
Okay, well, let's see here. Right, let's open up the envelope. Hear ye, paragraphs and paragraphs of preamble.
Everything's fine. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, you have to take your turn anyway. We got a schedule here to go through. I, Jebediah Bukowski. Wait, that sure is noisy out there.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there, Brad. I'm just going to make sure Randall isn't dying. I'll be right back. And she runs out of the multi-purpose room, slams the door. Randall, honey, what's going on?
So I just point at the zombie.
Oh, this is unexpected.
We should reassure everyone that everything is fine.
We certainly should. I'll just...
Stick my head in. I would like to reassure everyone that everything is fine. And then I slam the door.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Randall.
And Rhonda will come back into the room and say, Randall, deal with it. Get the atomizer. Closes the door and pushes with one hand a very heavy concession machine, just full of, like a Coke machine. Just sort of with one finger pushes that in front of the door. Goes, that should be fine. Everything's wonderful. And she goes back behind the board and sits down. I'm very sorry to interrupt. Please continue, Brad.
I think this is going well for Rhonda. What do the rest of you think?
Yeah.
Julie, I heard something about an atomizer. It sounds like they got some essential oils out there in the lobby. You might want to check that out afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Good healing stuff.
Oh, maybe we have more in common with the demons next door than I thought. I mutter under my breath.
Well, you know that Rhonda, she's been taking that job as Sergeant at Arms of the Homeowners Association so seriously. Really impressed.
Yeah. I'll have to figure out what YouTube videos she's watching to get that arm strength, though. That was incredible. I could use some bicep tone-ups.
Well, look, when we get rid of all those iron dumpsters, we won't need all that upper arm strength. Well, not if we're taking out the garbage, at least.
Oh.
Okay, so me being assigned mind to body says here that it's gonna be body. Silent vote. Oh no! Yeah, no. I like your idea. Scene.
But I think that went well for Rhonda. It felt like it went well for Rhonda.
Sure, yeah. Everything
went terribly for Randall.
Sorry, the preview I'm using to look at this is different from the way it's actually laid out. It's very...
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
These are confusing.
We now have a scene about Julie.
I think the drama at the Homeowners Association meeting is just beginning. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think I'm gonna let you guys maybe it's unfair if you guys set the scene, because you sort of... Well, I don't know. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer that that I resolve a scene, or that I set a scene?
So, it seems like we're going to have to resolve this one way or another, figuring out what's going on with the homeowners. Mm-hmm. Unless Grandpa just smashes through a wall.
That seems even more chaotic. What if maybe Rhonda and I get to give a little speech about why people should vote for us, and like maybe while the speeches are happening, maybe while Julie's speech is happening, then Grandpa smashes through a wall.
Maybe there's a window behind you, and occasionally you see Randall and Grandpa going like locked off comedy frame.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I may, I think I have an opening line to set this up perfectly.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Silent ballot will be how the candidates will be chosen. So we took care of that yesterday. So it looks like it's Julie, you are one candidate. Rhonda, you're one of the other candidates somehow. And looks like... Okay, well, let's see. Trial by combat. There's nothing else really written on the paper here, so I mean, you got to decide what that means for you. But
well, I always say that the pen is mightier than the sword, so of course I think that we should get a few minutes to write a little speech and present it to everybody about why we should be voted for, and not anything that requires upper arm strength, because I'm a real noodle arm. And Rhonda here, she's packing like, at least, these are tiny guns. It's like Derringers in here, but she's got like AKs, and so I don't think I can take her the other way.
Well, as executor of the will, I will say that verbal combat is now on the table. That is a weapon you may choose.
All right.
And then Rhonda whispers under her breath, "Foiled again."
Okay, so if there's no last-minute entries to the final, I guess you could say, fight-off for presidential power, let the proceedings commence, eh?
Unless we want to use our final tilt to have a critter, that's probably a wrong place for it.
I think that's exactly the point. If we want to say a critter, which is in fact some sort of an alien that is able to take control of unanimated bodies, bursts through the door.
Or what about just like tons of raccoons? Like a fire hydrant of raccoons just clamoring in.
These are not necessarily mutually contradictory, because it could be an alien that Rhonda and Randall have already deposed that is now in one or more raccoon bodies.
Oh, that's right. That's where the broods are going. Mm-hmm. That's why there's so many raccoons. They're actually space raccoons.
A small drip of water lands upon the paper I'm reading. What the heck? Oh, no. And the crack that I've noticed on the dome of the city hall begins to widen and widen, and then finally opens up, and I'm going to say 30 to 40 raccoons of unknown origin tumble into the rotunda from above.
Oh, no. And I shout off to Randall, "Randall, didn't you get a sitter?"
I'm busy, darling!
Well, right. I mean, this just proved... You know what? Thanks, raccoons, for making my point, I suppose. There's too many... Why are there so many raccoons around here? And all of the unsecured dumpsters. It stinks. It's terrible. We need to do something about it. What is wrong with you people? Why do you want hundreds of raccoons running around here? Why don't you look more bothered that there's 40 raccoons that just came through the ceiling?
I have a rebuttal.
Argument from Julie Bucket. I recognize Rhonda, but we have a late entry afterwards for rebuttal from the raccoons. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Yes, these raccoons are a valuable part of our delicate ecosystem. The more raccoons, it's a sign of a very healthy environment.
Okay. That's some good insight there, raccoons. Do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're not making a very coherent argument, but it is very loud, and according to both political and World Wrestling rules, that is valid. Julie, you're going to have to make a strong second showing here if you want to take control. Eh?
So I think at this point, part of the side of the building is definitely shaking. Like the wall is visibly moving. How do we want to end this scene?
I think that this is when Julie starts to go. You know, I think basically as soon as Julie starts talking, I think that the wall caves in, and Randall and the 2-week-old decomposing body of Jebediah Bukowski come crashing through into a pile of raccoons, and then I don't know what else happens. So that's what. So you know.
Hello, neighbors, and scene.
Yep.
So it felt like that went badly for Julie.
Yeah.
But you get to decide, Kathleen. You're resolving because we established.
I think that it went badly. Well, I feel like she feels vindicated by the raccoon problem, but then seeing the reanimated corpse of her grandfather-in-law attacking her neighbor, who she hates, so that's kind of good. But it's also like unsettling because that's not supposed to happen. So that's going to say that's an overall negative, right? But like, not all negative.
No. Okay. And I feel like we kind of just have to keep going, don't we?
Yeah.
Hold on. Nope, I'm going to do a flashback.
Ooh.
This is going to be a flashback between Jebediah Bukowski and his lawyer.
Ah. Excellent.
So is Brad in the scene at all?
Oh, no, I do have to be Brad. Yes. Brad is there with witnessing the notarization of the will with the lawyer. So I'll need someone to be a lawyer, and I'll need someone to be my grandfather.
All right, Mr. Bukowski. I think that everything is in order here. Are there any other items or addenda for this will?
Granddad, I know you were looking to add a clause there to the proceedings. You wanted to mention that the kumite was open to anyone who showed up, right? That seems kind of weird.
It's a thing I have to settle with my friends who play cards.
Okay, so it's kind of like a buy-in at a poker thing there. If you show up late, you can still get in and still win out if you want to. Okay,
Absolutely. That is what I mean.
Does that work there, Your Honor?
One moment here. I can just... Yes, now, sign here, and sign here, and then I need you to initial here, and here.
Oh, curse this frail body. I should have picked a better one. No.
You're gonna be around for a while yet, Grandpappy. It's strong Bukowski genes in you.
I'm trying to keep this old broken down piece of garbage going, but it's a constant struggle. I mean, I love you, human grandchild.
I'm with Andy. I think this is going well for Brad.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad you still recognize the people are the people and that the raccoons are the raccoons.
Oh, do not touch the raccoons.
Yeah, no,
They are my pride and joy.
That's been some of the best advice you've given me in your life, and I've never touched a raccoon since, and 100% rabies free over here.
Foolish human. I mean, I love you, grandchild. Must I endure his presence anymore?
Okay, well, I think we're done with the lawyer then, Grandpappy. We'll get you back to your house.
So I think that went well for Brad.
Okay. And we've now established that the shambling corpse of Jebediah can now be a part of the community.
All right. So, I'm losing this fight, right? I'm just some random tech in an artificial body. The leader is back. He's got this undead strength. And I think that I'm a mess. And I'm sort of lying there in the wreck of the rotunda. He's come through the wall. He's got like his hand, he's like inside the plastic of my chest. I'll be like, help me, Rhonda, get this out of my heart. And I think my plastic is expiring and I'm needing a new host. So I am sprinting, because I'm only the size of a scorpion or so, and I think Brad's nearby. So I think I'm making a play for Brad. Oh. So, Brad, you see kind of this scorpionish thing jump out of Randall's dying head and run toward you.
Jumping Jehoshaphat's! I guess I'll just, well...
Do you use your jazz drumming reflexes?
Yeah, as it's coming towards me, I'm rolling up that scroll of a will, because, of course, it's a scroll. Get!
So, for combat, in case you need to be reminded of the mechanics of this game...
Yes.
I established this scene. Mm-hmm. That means the three of you decide if I win or not. Mm. Which is a way to make sure that I'm not taking Brad without his consent. I feel like I'm probably going to lose this. This is a desperation move that we don't like to make. Kathleen?
Can you not be able to take Brad, but could you jump into the body of an unsuspecting other, like, NPC? So you don't have to be out of the game either, but it's a terrible body.
This is my last scene. But yes, that is a thing that could happen. Yeah, we each have one scene left.
Oh, right.
Incidentally, the very last scene of the game, which will be Ian's, he is not ruled by which die is left, because the very last die is wild. It'll still count as its color for the denouement stuff. But, yeah, Is that a question, Ian?
Oh, I was about to ask you a question of you, actually. Would you prefer to end up in another body, or would you prefer to end up in an upturned hot dish?
Ooh. I think that the crummy body idea is interesting. Basically, I have given up my right to choose. You guys have to tell me what happens next.
All right.
I've lost my plastic Randall body, and I'm going for Brad.
So I smack at the ground a couple times, missing this scorpion-like object. And it scuttles up my leg, up my torso, down my arm, back up the other side, and onto the top of my head. And for some reason, it just can't get through this flannel beret. I'm just flailing about, and just in my flailing managed to smack it backwards onto the head of
Myrna Thurpleturp.
Oh, that was an experience.
The heck was that?
and these raccoons are swarming, swarming around like so many ferrets, or ferrets swarming like raccoons, one or the other. And Rhonda's finally batted them away from her face. She goes, Randall, Randall, your plastic, it's gone, Randall.
No, it's Ethel. Ethel. Oh, it was Ethel, wasn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Myrna.
Oh.
It was Myrna.
sure. Ethel to her
Myrna
close friend.
Ethel Thurple.
My God. And Rhonda looks at all the other humans in the room and goes, I had no idea. What a shock! You think you know somebody? You're married for 3 days, and all of this.
Myrna, were you going to get in on the Kumite too? I mean, it's still open.
I am still a little bit worried about the raccoons and the zombie.
Oh, me too. Yeah, they're a real problem, but we only got the. It's only about.
I
50
guess they're
minutes.
not on the agenda.
They are not. But
So
And
that scene?
I guess, but just before that scene ends, Jebediah Bukowski turns and looks at Rhonda and starts lurching towards Rhonda, and let's call that the end of the scene. And
Okay.
the scene that I will establish is a flashback
So
to.
you guys have to give me a die.
Oh,
I felt like
right.
that went badly for me, but that's up to you.
I got into the story. Yeah, that one.
yeah, that didn't go great.
There are game mechanics. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
they matter.
They do. We go to a flashback in the mothership. No, not the mothership. Because it goes back to the end of the last homeowners association meeting where Jebediah was still presiding as the leader, and all the Rhonda and Jebediah are stacking chairs, as you do at the end of all of these communicating these public community meetings, and Rhonda goes as they're alone. They go, "Dear Galactic Leader, I have questions."
Oh, that's very interesting that you question me, but I'll allow it.
No, I would not question your authority, dear leader. I merely wish for a clarification of the mission.
Oh, the mission. The mission is obviously the same mission we have always had. We take over the world. This beautiful world with its fragrant dumpsters, not fit for the filthy humans who live here and seek to shut out their beautiful ambrosia-like odors.
This is true. I have long noted their lack of appreciation for the putrid and the moldering and the festering. But must we take over their minds? Must we rid the planet of these things? There is beauty here. There is macrame. There is ovulation. There are trees which I am learning to appreciate. Must we completely encompass it?
Would you think about the ant after you crushed it under your foot, or whatever the alien equivalent of an ant is on their planet, obviously? You ground it into your thorax? Of course not. It is an ant. It is meaningless. It has no thoughts. It creates nothing. They are worthless. They are impedance to us. Look at what they've done to me. They've stuck me into this horrible weak body. The sooner they are rid of, the better.
Well, I'm very sorry, leader. I'm very sorry you feel that way, but last week I had a muffin that was made with silica and algae and bran and something else, but also pineapple, and the pineapple has done something to my to my ganglia, and I cannot stand here and allow you to do this to this beautiful planet.
What are you going to do to stop me, you fool? I'm very frail, by the way.
And I take out the blue. What was the thing that was broken? It was the blue. It was
The atomizer.
the blue atomizer that doesn't quite work. And I say, I'm going to hit you very hard in the head. And I rear back and clock this old man.
I think that's how it got broken.
Yeah.
Well, I think that went well for Rhonda.
I guess so.
Okay. Kathleen, what is Julie's final scene?
Oh. I don't know. I feel like maybe we is this the aftermath? Like Julie has not seen that like what's it like that Jebediah is a zombie now, right?
Okay, so I'm going to answer your questions in the order you asked them. So the aftermath happens after Act 2. So there are 2 scenes left in Act 2, and then normally we would each roll all of our dice like we did for the tilt, but instead Ian is going to roll them all and give us our numbers, and then he is going to read off a chart and tell us our final ultimate fate. And we're going to have snapshots. So at the end of Act 2, the movie is over, but as the credits roll, you see pictures of sort of the rest of the story, and that is the aftermath. And we will go around describing what those pictures are. So this is your last scene where you're likely to have dialogue. But
Right. Are people feeling that we want to keep going in the homeowners association meeting and do that, or do we want to move on from that?
Well, the way you would find that out is you would say, I'm resolving.
Oh.
But if you have an opinion, you say, I'm establishing, and then you do it.
Oh, I'll resolve. What's going on, team?
All right. Ian, do you have an idea for what your final scene is? And can we do something that plays into that?
Yeah. I honestly felt like we were. I was going to take us to the end of the current ruckus that's happening at the homeowners association. That's kind of going to be the final. The leader will be decided at the end of the homeowners association meeting.
Cool. So then would it work better for you if we gave Julie some sort of flashback?
Yeah, if you go flashback to establish more of what's going on here at the homeowners, like another twist that could happen at the homeowners association meeting, that would be great. If it's a flashback just to establish characters, that'd be great. If it's just more stuff that's happening at the meeting, that's also great.
Okay, so let's narrow that down. We could have Julie present when Grandpa gets taken over, except Kathleen's playing both those characters.
Sorry.
Very difficult.
I mean, someone else could play Jebediah, I guess. All right, what's a flashback that would inform her character?
Maybe
or do we just want to... Oh, go ahead, Andy.
Maybe moving from the Midwest back to the suburb. What caused them to do that? What work in that relationship, or?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, let's. This is a flashback scene, I think, between Julie and Brad, discussing their intentions to. They've just got notice that their grandfather has died. And now they're making, now they're dealing with that news and what that entails.
Perfect. All right. Oh my gosh, we just got a letter from a notary. Brad. Oh no.
Those are never good.
No, no one ever has to pay hundreds of dollars to send you a letter that says, "Hi, how's it going?"
You know, they should really do singing telegrams for that sort of notice. You know, you've been served. At least you get a smile out of it.
Could make the news go down better. I agree. Oh, Brad.
What is it?
Jebediah. He's passed away.
Oh no, he was my second favorite grandfather.
Who could have seen it coming that a 98-year-old man who we had to visit earlier this summer to make sure his last affairs were in order because his death was imminent could have died?
But he was so spry and so poisonous. So the vile bile was coming out of that man about his town. But
Yeah.
he made some very good points, though, didn't he, about the garbage situation there? It sounds like a nice place to live, to be honest.
Well, I suppose we are inheriting that house, so I hope it is a nice place to live.
We
Better
are
than our
the only-
two-bedroom apartment over a deli.
We are the only people left after that terrible destination wedding to Hawaii that went awry 6 months ago. I don't know how. Well, you know what? I'm always up for an adventure, Julie, and I married you with the intention of getting out there and having some fun. So, what do you say you and I move to the Midwest? I guess move back to the Midwest from here in New York City, and we establish ourselves there. You know, it's a little bit cheaper. We can get on the homeowners association. We can make a real difference and be the change we want to see in our own neighborhood.
That's right. And I'll have a backyard, so I'll finally be able to set up that, yurt drum circle thing I've been dreaming up. I think that we could really bring some culture to the Midwest, you know. We could expand their horizons.
Can you imagine an entire subdivision of yurts? We can make that happen if we try.
Guys, be so eco-friendly. Oh, a woman can only dream. Well, first I'll have to get on the homeowners association. Hee hee.
Get on. Get to the top. That's where you belong there, Julie. If your hot dish is any indication of your quality as an administrator.
Oh, Brad, you're so sweet.
Oh, well, I'm gonna call those two big guys with great big hearts right now.
So, Kathleen, you decide if the scene went well or badly for you.
I think the scene went well, honestly.
I think so too. So there is a black die left, and Ian is going to get it, but the scene could still go well for him because final scene can be wild. Sounds like you're setting the scene, Ian.
I'm gonna set the scene. It is the height of the fracas in the middle of this dome. There are whirlwinds of raccoons around Rhonda. Myrna is very slowly but surely taking control of their own new body and making some wild gestures. As
Crawling toward the backpack because I want the equipment.
Yes,
She's got a walker.
Crawling and jerking towards the backpack. Julie is at the I guess you could say the witness stand, giving a impassioned plea about garbage reform, and the shambling husk of Jebediah Bukowski is fighting raccoons.
Has Julie lost her glasses, perhaps? Like, why isn't she noticing everything that's going on?
I think maybe what happens is that I'm so mad about the raccoons, and so my last thing I said was this proves my point. Maybe I'm only now calmed down, and perhaps I do one of them cartoon turnarounds where I'm just what? Nobody's paying attention to me. I know there's a lot of raccoons around here, and I turn around and I'm just holy moly.
Okay, so this is unprecedented. I'm gonna call for order. Order. No, that's not working there. Let's just keep reading. Jeez, okay.
Oh, these. What?
What the heck's coming out of his eyes?
Back, leader. You must die in order for this planet to survive. You must die. Randall, get the good deatomizer, the good one.
So I'm rummaging in the backpack and I'm throwing out.
You put the brood into raccoons. Why?
They're a very resilient organism. They're much more resilient than any human species on this planet has ever had. The Neanderthals, the Denisovans, no, the human beings, they're all terrible. Raccoons are clearly the superior species.
They call them finger mammals.
Point taken.
I toss the good deatomizer toward Rhonda and Jebediah. with my old lady arms.
The atomizer tumbles through the air, and because your old lady arms are extremely weak and also unused to receiving this sort of strong impulses from an alien invader, that the atomizer goes straight up, spinning, much like that bone in 2001, and then comes down and hits the ground, base first, firing directly into the chandelier in the center of the rotunda, firing deatomizing lasers everywhere through the room, taking out, I want to say, 2/3 of the raccoons. A couple of spectators who are on their phones and won't be missed at all. And also, the head of Jebediah Bukowski. He falls to the ground. The raccoons cover the body. And then, after a couple seconds of wrestling, scatter. And the body is left clean, but seemingly human and untouched. And the room is silent. And I look down at the scroll, and okay, well, we only got the room until 8 p.m., so Julie's the last one standing, so I guess she's the leader? Well, hot damn!
All right.
The end?
Wait. A little postscript. I think I might have to call the insurance company. Yeah.
And cut.
Yay!
Okay, so that is the end of Act 2. Ian is now going to roll the dice for everyone. And Ian, the chart you're after is on pages 58 and 59 of the rule book.
So everything gets rolled together, correct?
No.
No.
Each person has their
individually.
dice that... Yeah.
And then plus minus. Got it. Okay, so let's start with Randall. You get the...
All right, so it...
There we go.
So we're looking for the difference
Yep.
between the white and the black. So
Those
it
are
looks
those.
like the difference is 6.
To black.
All right, so there's a chart because it's black high and it's 6.
Got it here.
So what do I get?
Randall, unfortunately, you got pathetic. You'll suffer. Oh, dear God, you will suffer, and everyone will know about your malfeasance, your stupidity, your lack of common sense and decency. You're probably going to be locked up, too.
Okay, so now you know how it works. Once we do that for everybody, we'll go through and we'll do our snapshots.
Okay.
So-
you know what? Let's give you... Do you want a fresh roll, then?
No, you leave that aside and roll Rhonda's dice because they're
Okay.
different from mine,
Yeah.
right?
I just wanted to know if you wanted a different one than that. If you wanted that to be an example roll. But, yeah.
That sounds great.
Okay. We're looking at 4, 5, 6. Those canceled out. That means it's a white 1.
White 1. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Rhonda, you are dreadful. You are certainly dead. Probably from a self-inflicted wound. People care about you are also probably dead. Maybe through their own stupid, ugly failure. To say that you fucked up is an insult to fucked upness. You have redefined the term fuck upness.
Oh, she had really good intentions. Poor Rhonda.
Oh, well.
Well, let's see how Julie does.
White 1, you are a black 6. I'm just going to make this easy to remember. Julie, you are going to get
4.
8 minus 4, 4 white. You are bitter. You know what it's like to be in an utterly crushed, casually brought low, forced to eat your own words and stand mute and powerless before your enemies. They gloat, and you are helpless.
Oh, this job sucks.
And finally, Brad is... Ooh, 1 black. Which is...
It's nice we didn't have any duplicates.
Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah.
You're probably dead. Other people, probably innocent people, are as well. There's no justice. There's no mercy. Everything is utterly painfully screwed, and it is all of it, your fault.
Okay, so now we're just doing sort of rapid fire snapshots. And your final snapshot has to line up with what Ian just read.
So if you need a reminder, just let me know and I will.
So here is Randall/Myrna. In her new body, she has finally made it outside, and she's looking up at the invasion fleet that Jebediah seems to have managed to call before dying. Andy.
Rhonda gets the worst end of that deatomizer, severing most of melting the plastic in her body, and the weird scorpion. I love that. That's a little thread through some earlier games. The weird scorpion crawls out injured, maybe half of its body missing from the deatomizer, to see all of her brood scatter what is left of it into the wilderness without a parent to guide them, and the fate of this planet she had grown to love unknown as her green acid blood melts out and her ganglia withers into a hard stone and dies.
You know you have 3 more snapshots, right?
She's nearly dead. She's almost so very close to being dead. She feels like she could be dead very soon.
Kathleen.
Oh, well, Julie rolls up her sleeves and says, well, let's hit the ground running. And she's on the phone with the insurance agent outside looking at like the shattered husk of the wall of the thing. And it's like, what do you mean they got a cheap policy and they've got a 40% deductible?
Ian?
Brad looks up to the crumbling dome and back down. Notices another rock tumbling down, and it crashes directly onto the stone floor, emitting a extremely loud bang directly in front of him, damaging his hearing irreparably and keeping him from the one thing that gives him joy.
Oh.
Jazz.
Oh.
Oh, the jazz. All right, so here's Randall/Myrna trying to put a good face on things as the fleet admiral emerges from the first landing flying saucer, and the admiral does not look pleased.
Oof. So, as this poor alien known as Rhonda, her real alien name unpronounceable in the human mouth, is her neurons are slowly turning off, like that scene from 2001: Space Odyssey. But instead of Daisy, Daisy, it's the best of Herbie Hancock, just going. Just repeating over and over and over as she's slowly fading out of existence.
So this is Julie still on the phone with the insurance agent as thousands and thousands of raccoons start coming out of the woods behind the community center. And they look like the Great Wave, is what Julie is thinking. And it's like, I didn't know they masked like that.
Brad stumbles forward from behind the podium, moving towards the center of the room, and looks down at his grandfather. And loses balance on the slippery floor from all of the goo and rocks and whatnot, and lands face first into his chest, just causing the whole thing to just kind of rupture.
Ooh. This is no longer PG-13, is it?
No. Well,
okay, so...
PG-13 if you had cool parents.
I would have been allowed to watch this.
Yeah.
So, it's several days later, and I am on the mothership at trial, trying to explain that I was a good supporter of the leader all along, and the whole judge and jury are just looking at me. What are you, Andy?
Is this the last one? Is this the last?
We have one more after this.
One more.
This is number 3.
Really painted myself into a narrative corner.
You can do flashbacks. You can do whatever you need to do here.
Oh, flashbacks! I forgot about flashbacks. Good. Again, as these neurons are dying off, she remembers that after that lovely afternoon that she had with Julie, where they first began their rivalry over the garbage policy, she gets home and she thinks, wait a second. Were there husks in those muffins? And she has a terrible allergic reaction, and tentacles come out of her head. It's like, oh, this is going to be with me for weeks. And that is one of the thoughts, the painful thoughts that as her last neurons are dying off, is like, oh, why is it always the bad things you remember at times like this? That's the end of that.
I will say this is several weeks after the fact, and Julie is standing there with an insurance adjuster and a team from the local news who are reporting on actually, no, this is Julie talking to the local news. This is a snapshot of the local news interviewing her and how she's bitching, and basically she's complaining that the insurance company is not honoring their act of God clause. When clearly an alien invasion, a tsunami of raccoons, and a zombie attack, if that is not an act of God, what on earth could not be construed as an act of God? There's a GoFundMe and a Facebook page.
At a similar point in time, Brad is currently in his jazz basement holding on to a couple of pieces of paper, one of which is displaying the fine and court summons for the theft of a city-owned steel dumpster. And and the second of which is the rather paltry and kind of insulting offer from a local pawn shop, due to it being now 2055 and the vinyl market is not what it once was.
Okay, so this is our last round of scenes. Everybody, scenes, snapshots. This is just an image. I lost the court case. I'm in a prison ship. I'm heading back to the home world. The end. Andy.
Rhonda has finally died. She is this mass of chitinous acidic fluid on the ground, and one raccoon returns and is sifting through the rubble as a raccoon does, and nuzzles its way through the through the rubble, finds what is left of Rhonda, goes over it in its mouth, decides it's not worth it, and hucks it among the other rubble, there never to be found or disturbed again. The final indignity.
This is Julie. After packing up, basically has gotten the strata to declare bankruptcy because the homeowners association, because there's no possible way that they can pay out the insurance claims. Many other people's houses are wrecked. 2 people just didn't come out of the wreckage. They just disappeared. It's like they got blown up or something. The lawsuits are stacking up. She quits. She sells the house for a pittance and goes back to her 2-bedroom apartment over a delicatessen in Queens.
And 17 years later on from that, Brad Bucket is walking past the room of down the hallway in his 1-bedroom Midwest ranch with his wife, who is working on her campaign for what it seems at this point is going to be a failed Senate run. And he smiles sadly and keeps walking down the hallway towards his own den, and again stops just for a moment outside of his son's room, looks through the door, looks at his son. He's smiling. He smiles at him. And Brad looks past his son at the Smash Mouth poster on his wall and slowly begins to drop to the floor and weeps.
Thank you for watching Dice Friends. This has been Suburban Succession, a Fiasco Classic game using the Home Invasion playtest. This stream, like everything we do, was brought to you by you. So thank you so much for your support. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, or on YouTube by becoming a member, or indeed on twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun by subscribing or buying bits. Thank you so much to everyone who supported us, and thank you for watching or listening if you're hearing this on a podcast. I'm Dale Friesen. I am sometimes an opera singer when there are operas. I like to play games, and I'm just generally a nerd, and you can find me on Twitter at Dale E. Friesen. Andy, who are you, and where can people find you?
My name is Andrew Cowden. I'm an actor in Vancouver. Also underemployed these days because I usually do theater. But, things are going to get better. It's yay! I have every confidence. Gosh, you can get me at Andrew Cowden on Twitter, or you can go to andrewcowden.com and see what I'm up to there.
Kathleen?
My name is Kathleen. I work here at Loading Ready Run. I do lots of things. We just did a bunch of videos that I helped work on, and they're over on our YouTube channel, so check them out there.
Great. Ian?
When you're not seeing me stream here at Loading Ready Run, you can find me over at tilty.house. That's tilty.house. I guarantee it is a valued URL. Check it out. You'll find links to all the stuff that I and Corey do over there, like podcasts, the Late Night Dub Fight, and our own streams. And, of course, links to our profiles on the Babs website, Twitter.
Thanks, everybody. This was a great time tonight. Please join us for more Dice Friends, not this, but other things, next week.
Bye.
Bye.